It's time to have a little petty rant about something that will probably never change, but has really been getting on my nerves lately, and that would be how unnecessarily early video games get announced. Nothing reminds me of this fact more than when an E3 comes and goes, a game gets revealed, and we're all sat around for years waiting to know when we might get to play it. Game development is a long process that takes years, and I get that the creators are probably proud of their work and itching to tell us about it. But game development is also this rocky, tumultuous process where things can take longer than expected. All sorts of crazy, unforeseen bugs or issues can crop up during a game's creation. You just don't know with these things. So why do games have to get announced so early sometimes? Death Stranding, Kojima's new game, got a trailer E3 and I'm just sat here wondering why. Dude hasn't even picked an engine and he's telling me about a game that probably isn't really even a game yet. It's like, after 4 years of waiting for MGS5, getting blown the fuck away by a bunch of trailers year after year, then it all culminating in an unfinished, rushed lark of a product. Like I'm really supposed to be sat here now oohing and ahhing over trailers for Death Stranding, deciphering teaser imagery and yucking it up with the memes? It's like, no, just give me a game. That's what I'm here for. I just want to play some games, bro. I just want to play some games. What happens when a game gets announced and then there are development troubles, or staff gets moved around, and maybe things get put on hold, and the title might even change names, and suddenly you've been waiting 10 years for one video game? Square is probably the poster child for this kind of thing. Die! 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 Why would you die? Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced 3 years ago, and what do we get this E3? News this winter. Like, life is short, man. There's a lot somebody can do in 3 years. I mean, I hate to bring death into this, but 10 years for Final Fantasy 15? Maybe should have waited on that announcement, guys. Not everyone's gonna last that long. 3 years to hear we might be getting some more news later in the year? I mean, these are video games, man. Usually, no matter what the quality of the game is, things turn out better if the wait is tolerable. I mean, it's hard to be that disappointed by a game like Fallout 4 when the game pops out of nowhere 6 months before release. It seems like it's mostly Japanese devs who have a hard time keeping their floppy semis in their pants before prematurely slapping them on our faces. It's good to see that Resi 7 seems to have the right idea by being announced only about 7 months before release. I'm really enjoying Zero Escape 3 at the moment, and I get that it was in a constant state of flux, not happening, maybe happening, but at least when it was announced under a year before its release, goddamn. Why reveal a game and then announce a few weeks later, oh psych, who knows, no idea when it's out, man. Like, just don't even tell me about it then. This might sound like a bit of an indulgent rant so far, but I think that this early bird tactic is just as harmful to the developers as it is to the consumer. I mean, take a sort of niche RPG like Persona 5 for example. When the first trailers were shown, there was quite a bit of buzz, and years later, with no launch, with promises of a release date continuously pushed back, it's hard to see the casual consumer flocking to it the way they might have done if the game had come out shortly after showing its first few popular trailers. Obviously, a game of a certain scope is going to take a certain amount of time to make. Yeah, you know, I'm not saying these things need to be rushed, just that there's not much point in doing a big song and dance literal years before any of us really need to care. With that said though, I'm no expert on the logistics of how much time a certain game with a certain quality of a certain size needs to be finished, but what I do know is that some of the best games ever made didn't take 5 years to come out. Actually, it's probably closer to most of the best games ever, taking into account the entire history of games. If a game like God Hand can be made in the better part of a weekend and be one of the most legendary games ever made, then you do have to wonder what really we gain from having so many titles cooking for half a decade each, to come out pretty as a peach but unfinished and lacking in substance. And you know, just great games used to come out at a much faster rate. The PlayStation 1 Final Fantasies came 1 year after another, but now we get a main one, what, every 5 years? And it doesn't seem like there's been all that much of a leap in quality to justify the change in timescale. I mean, yeah, I guess you're free to disagree with me on that note, depending on which games have left you satisfied. But I think there's no denying that no matter how good a game ends up being, there's no good reason to be asked to care about a title coming out for the amount of time these companies expect us to. So in conclusion, just let me know when shit's nearly done. Hey gang, I hope you enjoyed this little rant. If you enjoyed what you heard here, you might like listening to me talk a bit more about Final Fantasy 15, its long development cycle, and the state of Japanese games in general, over on this little podcast I did with Best Guy Ever. He does anime talkie boy reviews over on his YouTube channel and has quite a lot to say about Final Fantasy 15 as well, so if you're interested you can click the link below or check out some of my other vids. Thanks for watching.